Welcome to In the Community. And right now I'm visiting with Orlando Dozier. And Orlando, it's my understanding you are running for the Oxnard City Council.
Yes, I am, and thank you, Bill. Thank you for interviewing me and taking some time out to let me get my message out to the public.
All right, so you've decided to run. What prompted you to throw your hat into the ring?
Well, this isn't my first time running. This is actually will be the third if I count a special election. But the short reason is I want to help the community. And the long reason, what stems or what that stems from is I used to be in the military, and the military has this misconception that they're kind of bad to the community. So when I was active duty, I made sure that I always got involved in whatever community I was stationed at. So when I lived in England, I played cricket, which is a fun game. When I lived in Germany, I played American football. And every other community that I lived in, I always got in and I tried to help and get rid of that stereotype or that misconception and contribute. So once we finally moved here, I started out in the PTA because I was concerned with the size of the classes that our son was attending. And from that, it took us about 5 years to save some money. We lived on the south side, and we finally saved up enough money to move out here to River Park, which is a great community, a lot of friendship, and we met a lot of friends here. But when I moved out here, I became involved with the my HMO, Homeowners Association. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. Homeowners Association, and that started getting me to go to City Hall and to get involved with a lot of decisions that were impacting our neighborhood. And from there, it moved on to I joined and ran for and was elected to our neighborhood council. So I had a better voice and more time to interact and make sure that our concerns were heard at City Hall. And from there, that was the next step was to run for office itself.
So when you were looking at the HOA or the Homeowners Association, obviously you saw a need there to help out.
Yes.
If you were to describe for me what are your biggest concerns right now, today, for the city of Oxnard?
Well, my main concern is the city spent millions of dollars getting their financial house in order. There's a lot of controversy about bringing in consultants and the amount of money that the consultants charged. But in the end, we had auditable books. The books were audited. And now the state is going to come in and they're going to do a separate audit to make sure that everything's okay. If the city passes that, that tells me that the city's on firm financial ground it's been over 10 years since we would be able to say that we're on firm financial ground. And from there, we can start working on things within the community to help us better it. An issue, for example, out here in River Park is everyone who lives out here pays into a Melrose, and that Melrose helped pay for this beautiful park we're standing in and help pay for the collection and the 14 parks that were built and turned over to the city. But there's some trade-offs to that. So there are a lot of issues from the Melrose to on the south side. We have communities that are paying maritime services. A tax or a bill that was passed on to us from the county when we took possession of our harbor. That's something that needs to be looked into. We've got concerns even further along the coastline with short-term renters. There's no city ordinance governing that type of rental. So now
You're referring to the Airbnbs.
Yes, Airbnb, correct. So now we have residents against residents because those decisions are being decided in homeowners associations instead of having a city ordinance in place. So those are some of the things that I want to address because all those things that I talked about touch base to our middle class, to the homeowners, the people who have invested their money and they're committed themselves to making this city a better place. And without the homeowners, we won't be able to do the things that other people like for us to do and reach out and help the ones that can't help themselves. It's all tax based, and the middle class is they're the taxpayers. So.
All right, let's take a look around the city of Oxnard. You've mentioned a couple of places. What about downtown Oxnard? What do you see in your vision for the growth and development of Oxnard for the downtown area?
Downtown is prime for us to redevelop and to make it into the jewel of the city. And the reason why I say that is because we have beaches on the south side, and now we have a lot of new development and shopping and well, not necessarily sports venues, but venues where there can be music and concerts and other types of festivities in the north side. So what the center offers is a place where we can identify or we can highlight what's unique about Oxnard. We can show our heritage from the heritage that spills over from La Colonia and the labor movements and so forth to just putting together communities from community activities like our farmers market. I foresee, since our junior college has a very active film department, I can foresee highlighting a lot of the local produced films in our local in our theater downtown, because it's in competition with the theater out here. But we can use that theater to highlight, the uniqueness and the quality and the types of students that we have local. So I'm looking for the downtown to be, the highlight, the thing that shows people who come into Oxnard, hey, this is what's historical about Oxnard. This is what's unique about Oxnard. Now, we do need to change it so that it'll be more pedestrian friendly. We just got back the Highway 1 or Oxnard Boulevard. So now we need to convert that from a highway and the types of businesses that are found along highways to a pedestrian area where you've got places where people can stop and get coffee or buy a newspaper or get something to eat. So.
Well, certainly Centennial Plaza has, that's been part of the redevelopment there in Oxnard, and that's been pretty built up and quite successful.
Yeah, yes, it is. But now what we need to do is expand it, because the park is, since it faces the backwards from Oxnard Boulevard, for people who are just traveling through the city, they may miss it. They don't even know it's there. So as we redevelop the whole downtowns, we can redevelop it in a format or in a way where it attracts foot traffic to that central part, and then from there they can span out and enjoy some of the other nice activities and events and restaurants that we have in our community.
One of the things that the city of Oxnard has just undergone is really a transition in their police department, with Jerry Williams taking on the similar assignment now in Phoenix. What do you see for the future of the police department and providing police services for the city of Oxnard?
That's another key issue that the voters are facing this November. We need to make sure that whoever we elect, I'm hoping it's me, takes the time to really learn and study the candidates, because there's going to be a nationwide search to replace our police chief. It could come from internal also. I'm not close enough to the process to know how that goes, but I would imagine that local candidates would also be included in that pool. But the next councilman is going, or council person is going to have to really do their homework and get to know these candidates so that they can vote for who they think will be best for our community. Chief Williams, I knew her. She was I think an excellent chief. She was here. She got us through some really hard times, some tragic events that happened, and she was that mediator between the public and the police force. I had the opportunity when I served as chairman of the Oxnard City Community Relations Committee to chair a lot of meetings where we brought together the police and we brought together the residents. And some of the meetings got a little out of hand and we had to gobble them closed. But during that whole time, I can say that Chief Williams and the police department and the officers that were there always stayed professional. They always kept good decorum, and they always kept everything in control, so that even though we couldn't come to an agreement, we did set up some opportunities where the public could sit down with the police force and they could discuss their problems. That's an issue that I'd like to promote more, that that I'm going to be looking for if I'm elected in a candidate, someone that has good communication skills with the public.
Well, that would be, to me, it seems like a very natural thing to do is to really reach out into the community. If you're elected city councilman, would you have community forums, town hall meetings, that kind of thing where you'd invite the public in to perhaps air whatever grievance or concern that they might have?
Yes, as much as possible. But I think it's more effective when the council member goes to the community. So I would love to show up at some of the neighborhood council meetings, to show up at some of the local events, at some of the ballparks and playgrounds and so forth. That's what I plan on doing. That's why I kind of picked this venue, because I like being out in the public and I like meeting people and talking to people, because I think if I come to you, you're more open and willing to really express to me what's going on. So the city does do a pretty good job of reaching out to the community and letting them know when there are public type projects that are about to start. And they do a decent job letting them know about city-sponsored festive activities. But, you know, there's room for improvement.
Well, let's take this on the inverse. As you go out into the community, what are some of the concerns that you have heard that maybe the city council right now is not addressing in a timely fashion?
Well, from the homeowner's side, there's a lot of concerns with how the taxes are collected and how they're spent. A lot of people are paying into the communities within Oxnard. They're kind of funded through a CFD, or I think it's a community funded development account or something like that. But that account is replenished with taxes that don't necessarily come from the residents that live in the area where that fund takes care of. So there's some things that need to be adjusted. Once again, I'll use River Park as an example, since River Park was is the furthest community this north in Oxnard. A lot of the through roads had to be developed just for this community. So those roads are now tied to CFDs that are paid for by just the residents of River Park. We have the new wagon wheel coming online, so I would look for ways to help share, to share that and spread that evenly. There's some concerns also with the new wagon wheel development where it's coming online. There's going to be maybe 1,000 or more units, homes and apartments, but there's no school. So now we're going to have a problem with the elementary schools that are close by being overpopulated, the middle schools being overpopulated, and there was plans to provide a school, to renovate a existing facility, but that fell through and the city didn't follow through with that. So residents are concerned with that. They see the new development coming up. The schools in this neighborhood, they're already up to probably 30 plus students per class. So, we're talking more trailers, more overcrowding, really wearing down our educators. So we need to address that. And I'd like to get out in front of that problem before it happens and Wagon Wheel is complete.
Well, with the wagon wheel development, a lot of people would say, why did the city tear it down? That's part of the history of the city of Oxnard.
That's true. They did destroy one of the favorite landmarks in the bowling alley. My son and his friends, they have a lot of good memories there, and it was an active money making place and well respected. But in order for the new development to go forward, they needed the whole lot that the property is being built on. There were also some other concerns with shoring up the foundation, and also since some of the buildings were really old, a lot of them may not have been able to be renovated or pass inspection without a major redevelopment.
For earthquake purposes and other things.
Exactly.
All right. We're running out of time. I'd like for you to take a look at that camera and just really talk to our viewers and let them know that you're out there. You want to be a part of the Oxnard City Council, and so give us your best pitch about why you, Orlando Dozier, should be on the Oxnard City Council.
Okay, my name is Orlando Dozier. I'm a candidate for the Oxnard City Council, and I would like to have your vote this November. The reason why I'm running is because I do feel that I am the most qualified candidate on the ballot, and if anybody doesn't think that, they shouldn't be running. The things that I think that qualify me are my life experiences and my involvement in the community. I'm a current planning commissioner. I was the chairman of the Community Relations Commission, so I've seen our local government on both sides, from the side of helping people, the community, to watching and monitoring large-term or large-type projects be developed. So I have professional skills that I think the city sorely needs right now, with our financials finally coming into a good place where we can take a look at it. And then I would just like to say that as there are a lot of candidates running, and that's not uncommon for California. There's always a lot of candidates running for any position. But I would like for the public to take the time and ask each of us candidates specific questions on how we plan to fix something. What are we bringing to the table that we think will help the city run better? Because it's always said, because it sounds cliche, but this is a critical election for the city of Oxnard. We've got things from deciding how long we want to keep our open spaces safe with the SOARS initiatives. We've got concerns with how to go about the water taxes, whether to increase them or whether to keep them where they are. So we've got, we're looking for a new police chief. We're looking for a new fire department chief. We're looking for a new finance director. There's so many key positions that the next city council member is going to have to vote on, that they really need to know their homework. So with that being said, I ask the public for their support, and I hope that you consider me for your vote in November.
All right.
Thank you again for it.
Well, you're more than welcome. And Orlando, do you have a website where people can go to and read more about you and learn about what your positions are when it comes to finding out whether they're going to vote for you or not?
Yes. You can visit me at orlandoforoxnard.com, and also if you search on Facebook Orlando for Oxnard, you'll find all the links, and I always write some narrative to whatever link or whatever article I'm commenting on, so you know my position. And I make my positions publicly known because I want people not to be surprised, or to know these are the things that I stand for and how I feel. So orlandoforoxnard.com or Orlando for Oxnard on Facebook, and you can catch up with everything I'm involved with.
All right. Orlando Dozier has been our guest. I'm Bill DeFoi. You've been watching In the Community, a production of the Heritage Media Group.